You see, my friend, I brought more geeks than you did.
Hey, what's up, my peoples? EmGo here, the freaking geek himself, and today we will be reviewing the Perfect Effect Leonidas. So here we are, and there he is. And first and foremost, as always, we'll take a quick look at the packaging. So right up front, you have a very nice piece of artwork there of Leonidas. I think that looks really, really cool. Love the way that's done. Beast muscle! It's the muscly beast thing, I don't know. On the side of the box, you have a picture of Leonidas. On the other side of the box, a picture of Leonidas. On the back of the box, you have your obligatory product shots. He does this, that, the other, all that cool stuff. You even get a checklist of everything that's on the box. And that's basically it for the packaging. So moving right along, here we have our king, Leonidas! Ho! Ho! Of course, there's going to be 300 references in this video. Come on now, guys. His name is Leonidas. I have to. I just have to. I wouldn't respect myself if I didn't. But anyway, here we have Leonidas. And this is an homage to Lio Convoy. And it's a good figure. It has its issues. Right off the bat, I will say that the main issue with this figure is that the beast mode is not its strongest point. It's kind of the weak point of this figure. Robot mode is amazing in my opinion, but beast mode is definitely kind of it's okay, but we'll break it down here. So we'll get in close on the head sculpt. I like the head sculpt, very nicely done, and yes, people have made the comparison. Yes, it looks like a Zoid. Yeah, it does. Do I have any Zoids? No. Will I ever review any Zoids? No, because I have a feeling people will ask. So, no to both questions. But yes, very cool. He looks fierce, hungry, savoring the meal to come. I'm sorry. I'll try to stop. I'm sorry. But nice red in the eyes, outlined with black. Got some nice gunmetal gray. Actually, the eyes are lined in that same gunmetal gray. It's not actually black. But very cool. I love the gold paint used for the mane. You know, some little bits of red picked out just to break things up. And I do have some little molded details here and there to give it a little bit of character. Very, very nicely done. The mouth can open. Little bits of the mane kind of get in the way. But the mouth can open to reveal some very nice silver teeth. They're not sharp, but still, be careful with them. And I don't know if they're particularly fragile. You know, they feel pretty tough. But again, something to be a little cautious with. But still, pretty cool. And I mean, as far as the beast mode goes, you can clearly tell it's just a robot mode on all fours. I mean, it's a beast former. Honestly, how elaborate do you want it to be? Usually, I mean, I think like 90% of beast formers are just like, step 1, stand it up. Step 2, flip out hands and head. Step 3, why are you still reading this? You know, so it's kind of par for the course for a beast former. But still, I mean, lots of nice details throughout. I mean, you got some nice gold on the claws here, and some little spots here of black and gunmetal gray just to break things up. I mean, everything's very nicely done, very nicely detailed. And I love the gold paint. I love the shade of red they used too. Looks very, very nice. He has his arsenal of weaponry on his back. Now, one main issue with mine is the front legs. I talked to somebody on Twitter who got one, and he said that the joints on his were pretty tight. The front legs on mine, these joints, which will be the robot mode elbows, are pretty loose. So pretty much the only positions I can get him in successfully in beast mode is like this, with the legs all the way bent, or having him stand with his legs stock straight, because if I try to bend his legs in any way that is meaningful, the legs will just will just give right out, because there is die cast up here, so it just can't support the weight of that. Now, this is a rougher surface, so you can actually hold, kind of, sort of, not really. But on a smooth surface, if the legs aren't stock straight or just, you know, all the way bent like that, the legs just, boom, just slide right out from under him. So that sucks, and I don't know how to get to the screws in these elbows without completely ripping the toy apart, and I don't want to do that because this is an expensive toy and I don't want to hurt it. But I think it would just be an issue of just tightening up screws, but I don't know how to get to them because there are screw covers here and they look like they're on there really good, and I don't want to gouge this toy up just to get to some screws. So I might just have to live with that. But there you go. And another issue is just the beast head itself. Now, some people have complained that the lion head is a bit too big for the body. I don't think so. It might be slightly oversized, but it doesn't bother me that much. The one issue I have is that with the posability in the neck, you do have a nice range of movement here because you do have two ball joints working in there. So you can get him looking side to side, you can get him looking down, but the thing is, if you want him looking up, you do have to start making use of these two joints right here. And once you start bringing that up to bring his head up, then you realize, oh my god, he has no neck and his head is just floating independently from his body. I mean, from certain angles, you can't tell, but, you know, if you're looking at him from the side, it's like, oh my god, where's his neck? And that just looks really weird. So, again, it's just one of those little things that, doesn't make the beast mode all that strong. But let's just get down to articulation. Again, the head, like I said, you do have a good range of movement. You get good side-to-side movement. You can even kind of get some rotation that way. And again, you can move up and down just using those joints right there. They are ratcheted. And again, the mouth can open and close pretty wide. So there you go. All of these main pieces are on hinges. You can move these up. Move these up. Now these are fixed in place because these are tabbed into the back piece. These can move. This piece is attached to the mouth, so it moves with the mouth. And there's also a second little piece of main right underneath that. So there you have that. The front legs, these are the robot mode shoulders, so obviously you get a lot of range of movement. The joints are very tight, but you do get side-to-side movements, forward and back. You do get a swivel. You do get that elbow joint. The front paws are on a swivel as well as a hinge, and this piece right here is on a is it on a ball joint? No, it's just on it's on a swivel as well as a hinge also. And each of his toes, his little claws, are actually posable, which is just precious. That's just cute. Now, as far as the waist goes, you do have this extra joint that you can pull out, and it does give you a lot of range of movement there in the waist. So it gives you a lot of added posability, gives them a bit of an ab crunch there, so you can make use of that joint if you wish. The back legs, the rear legs, of course, are the robot mode legs, so they're on a nice ball joint. You get a nice full range of movement. Excuse me. Squeaky, too. You get forward, back, you do get in and out, you do get some swivel. Obviously, you have a joint right here, you have a joint right here. The feet are on a ball joint right here at the base, so you get a lot of good movement there. This piece right here is on a hinge, so you can take that and move that out of the way. The foot itself is also on a ball joint right in there, so you can move this independently like that. And I think I just popped it off. Yes, I did. Oops. There we go. And again, hey, 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 get back on there. Hey! It's the first time this happened to me. You get back on there. You get back on there. There we go. And the toes, again, are individually hinged there. So, there you have that. The tail does have numerous joints to it. So, oops, this came undone. Right there. So you have, oops, move this out of the way. You have a joint right here, a joint right here, a joint right here, a joint right here, and a joint right here. So you do get a lot of range of movement here. You can get some good posability out of it. The one thing, though, is that these joints, you can rotate them so they're facing, so they're lined vertically. When you do that, it just kind of droops because the joints aren't really tight enough to hold up the weight of this tail, which kind of sucks. But again, if you work with the joints, you can get it suspended in the air. Just the point of working with those joints. So there you have that. So that's pretty much all of his posability. Let me just get his legs straight here. Just gonna show off some other stuff. There we go. So, he does have a quote-unquote like battle mode here. And to do that, you gotta take these guns right here. These guns are on a double hinge. You just want to take them and raise them up. And this is another issue with this toy, is that these pieces are just tabbed in right here with 2 tabs right here. They do not hold in all that securely, and this armature is a ratchet joint, which honestly doesn't seem necessary. It could have been a regular friction hinge, and I think it would have been fine. There's really no point for this being a ratchet, because it's not like these guns weigh that much, and you know, there's no weight to support. So most of the time when you're trying to just bring the guns up, you will pop this right off. But I'm going to fix that by just gluing these on, because that's something that definitely bugs me when I'm playing with this toy. So anyway, you want to bring the guns all the way up and hope nothing pops off on you. See, it was trying to. Oops. And then the gun came untabbed. There we go. So you want to bring the guns up like that. And then you want to take these swords right here, and you want to remove them from these posts on the sides right here. Remove that. Remove that. That will fall off because it's a douche, and I am so gluing these on. I'm so gluing them on. So now, you're going to take these pieces on its back right here. You're going to bring them out, rotate them so they're flat, fold out that peg, bring that out, fold that out, rotate that peg outward, and now you're going to take these and have them pointing forward and just plug them into the port right there, which is usually not easy to do because you're pushing against something that's on a hinge that's on a hinge. That's right, because it's on a hinge and on a hinge. So sometimes when you're pushing it in, like everything will wiggle on you. So plug that in, like that. Get these guns aiming forward. And he does also have this little transparent red visor that you can put over his eyes. It's a tab right there. This little slot right there in his forehead. You can plug that in like that. And there you go. There's his battle mode. So he has guns drawn. He basically has just 2 big rail guns going on there. There you go. Now, of course, these being on hinges, you can take them and angle them outward or inward, however you wish. Rotate them up, rotate them down. And these guns as well, you can make use of all these joints. You can have them facing a bit more forward if you want. Totally up to you how you want to display that. And one thing that is included in the packaging also, just to show that off, you do get some replacement pieces for the tail. So in case you break something, they do give you a couple links there of replacement parts. So that's very nice of them. So there you go. There you have Leonidas all armed up and ready to go into battle. Ho, ho. So there you have that. So let's see if we can get him standing up so I can do some comparisons here. Jeez, man. Jeez. So for comparison, here he is with Big Convoy. That's how he scales with Big Convoy. Right there. Here he is with the Classics version of Leo Prime, which is just based off of the Cybertron mold. So there he is with that mold. Here he is with the more current Beast former. Here he is with Rhinox. So there you have that. And here he is with Optimus Primal and, you know, Monkey Rage! Sorry, I had to do it. I just had to, I'm sorry. I haven't done that in a long time. Rightfully so, probably. But anyway. There he is with Optimus Primal. Just for some comparisons there. So let's just get right down to transformation, shall we? Let's just take these swords off. Put them off to the side for now. Now, you don't have to remove anything for transformation. Everything can stay on, but honestly, just for ease, and because these things like to fall off all the time anyway, this entire back plate right here is just pegged on, and you can just take this and, oops, of course they're going to fall off. Just get off. This whole back plate can remove. Again, you don't have to remove anything for transformation, but it does make life a lot easier if you just take this stuff off and put it off to the side. So, this bit can stay on though. And just fold this back up against his back like that. And there you go. So, that can stay on, but this honestly, you're just better off just removing that for transformation. It just makes life easier. So, I'll get this visor. Thing's stupid anyway. I don't want that on him. So, for transformation, we will just start off with the legs. The legs are pretty straightforward. You just take this, bring it back. You're going to take this kneecap here and just slide it down right there. And then just bring the leg up. And you're done, pretty much. And just take the leg, bring it down, and then push the hip upward, like that. And that's it. Second verse, same as the first. Just bring this back, take the kneecap, bring it down, then just straighten the whole leg out. Bring the leg down, push the hip up, and there you go. You got the legs all done. Yay! Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So you have that. Oh, and I totally forgot to point out that you do have total visible head syndrome. There is nothing hiding his face in beast mode. It's just right there. Honestly, it's not even in plain sight. You really can't see it from any real angle. You have to turn him upside down to see it, but it is kind of weird that the head it goes nowhere. It's just right there staring at you. But there you have that. You want to take the lion head and just bring it back a couple clicks just so you have some room to work. You're just going to take the shoulders and just bring them down. Bring the arm down. These joints are really tight. Rotate that arm around. And then you're going to, I'll bring the camera down a little bit. I'll raise it up too high. So now you're just going to take the forearm here and just rotate it all the way around. And push it up until you hear it click into place right there. And just rotate the wrist so the hand is oriented properly. And there you got an arm all done. Second verse, same as the first. Just bring that arm down, rotate it down. Rotate the bicep. Flip the forearm section around. Make sure it clicks into place. Right there. Rotate. And there you have that done. Little chest plates here, you just rotate them. And they're on a double hinge, so you just push them flush up against his chest, and you got that done. Now, for the lion head, you're going to, this lion head is actually made up of two separate pieces, that's why there are two different armatures here. You're going to untab this section right here, this gray section, from this gold piece right here. So, untab that, boop, right there, untab the other side, right there. And now that frees up this section, so bring this section back, like that, and then see those are the slots that those tabs go into. And then take this other half and bring that back. So now you're just going to, not rotate it, you're going to just, not this lion head's out of the way. You just want to bring this forward, and this tab right here will go into this slot right here. And you also want to rotate this piece around right here on this ball joint. So just bring that down and tab that in like that. And then this will sit over the shoulder like that. You can take this piece, bring it down a little bit there. And then with the lion head itself, you have this little gold piece right here. So you just want that gold piece brought up like that. And once you've done that, you can take this and do the exact same thing. You got the tab right there, the slot right there on the shoulder. So just bring that down like that. And then just use those ball joints there to get this sitting right over his shoulder. Get that tabbed in. Sometimes the mane kind of gets in the way, so you have to make sure. the main's not impeding anything. And if you have this section pulled out, you just push it back down. And that's basically it, ladies and gentlemen. There is Leonidas. Get him straightened out here. There is Leonidas in his robot mode. I really like his robot mode. As far as I'm concerned, robot mode is where this figure really shines for me. Looks really, really nice. Very, very cool. Getting closer on the head sculpt. I love the head sculpt on this guy. I think it just looks so good. I think it's so nicely done. He's got red painted eyes in there. I don't know how well you can see it, but the eyes are painted red. I just love the sculpt. It's just really nicely done. Very, very cool. Very nicely painted. And again, a wonderful paintwork on this figure. Looks very, very cool. Very nice. And the transformation being so simple, obviously it's a very clean transformation. And like I said before, there is die-cast in this guy. These armatures right here are die-cast. This piece of the mane right here is die-cast, as well as this piece also, I think. The outer parts of the forearms here, these white bits, are die-cast. Most of his shins are die-cast metal, so he does have a nice heft to him, which is really, really nice. Now, of course, you can take his butt plate here and plug it back on. Just pegs in right there. Give him his tail back and arm him back up. Give him his swords. Just plug these back in. Oops. Of course, you're pushing against something that's on a hinge, so it makes life a little bit difficult. There you go. Plug that in. Plug that in. That one plugs in a lot easier. Plug these things back in that are a pain in my butts. There you go. Now, the instructions tell you to have these things collapse down all the way with the guns on them, but I personally, if things will stay tabbed on, that's another issue. Thing that really bugs me. The instructions say to leave these guns, you know, all the way collapsed down like that. I don't like the way that looks because I don't like the guns just kind of hanging off his butt like that, so I personally take them and bring them up so they're more against his back. I just think that looks cooler. So plug that back on. And there you go. So now he's got all of his bits and bobs back on him. There you go. And I think that looks pretty cool, if you ask me. Now I know some people have complained about the proportions on him. I mean, he does have like a really thin waist, and then his hips just kind of go, just kind of shoot straight out. But honestly, with all this stuff on his back, it does kind of fill out the silhouette a bit better, so it helps. But still, I think in robot mode, he is really, really good. And again, you can take this mane and, you know, use those joints and angle things how you want. I just kind of compacted it all up against his arm there. But very, very cool. Now, articulation-wise, his head is on a ball joint, so you can get some wiggly, waggly movement. The base of the neck is also on a joint, so you get some forward and backward movement, as well as some side-to-side movement at the base of the neck itself. So you get a good range of movement there. The arms, again, are on that ball joint. So you have a nice range of movements, very tight also. You do get, oops, that came undone. You do have a bicep swivel, you do have elbows with good range of movement there. You do have a wrist swivel. The hands can open and close. You do have nice ball jointed waist assembly, and you can pull that up to get even more movement there on the waist. Lots of wiggly waggly movement there. Hips, of course, can go forward. They can go back. You can knock stuff off. They can go in and out. You do get a swivel right here. You do get double jointed knees with nice range of movements right there. This little back plate is also on a hinge. You can just angle that out however you want. And again, the feet are on that ball joint, as well as these toes are on a ball joint, and the toes are individually jointed as well. You have that little plate there. You can kind of angle how you wish. That's on a ball joint. So there you have that, and of course you can do what you want with his tail, so long as you work with the joints. And let me just plug these back on because they fell off again. Grrr. So there you have him. Now, as far as weaponry goes, he does have a lot of that. He obviously has these two guns right here, which are not supposed to come off with the armatures. I don't even care anymore. I'm just going to leave these off to the side. He does have these two guns. Now, you have two different configurations for the guns. You can just leave them like this, flip out this handle, and there you got a gun. Or you can flip this up, flip that, and then flip this, and then flip that. A lot of flipping. And you get the standard G1 Prime gun, which is pretty cool. So you have options there as far as how you want to display the weapon. So you get two of those. Very cool. He does have two swords as well. Pull these out of the sheaths. Right there. Done in a nice red... Oh! As everything falls over. Stay. Stay, kitty Mew Mew, stay. Which is done in a nice red paint and a gunmetal gray. These swords are die cast. This is one solid piece of die cast. So, very nice. So he has two swords. Right here, I'll just pull them both out now, just because. So, two swords, die-cast metal, very cool. He can hold those. So he has that. He also has, we'll remove this piece right here. Just unclip this piece on his back and unpeg it. There's this little clip right here that will go under this red piece right there. And then it'll peg in it right up top. But you can take this and you can flip this up, flip these out like that. You can flip these out, aim them forward, whatever you want to do. Flip out this handle, and now he has a crossbow weapon. So there you go, another piece of armament. And if that wasn't enough, you can remove his butt plate here. And his tail also becomes a weapon, because his tail, there's a lot more to this tail there than you can actually see, and you can see how this is all wrapped up in here. And that's how you want it when you're actually plugging the tail on. So you just unclip that there, unclip that there, unclip that there, and unclip that there. And this actually becomes a whip, which is pretty cool. Now again, the joints aren't strong enough to actually hold anything up, but again, if you kind of work with the joints. If you follow me on Twitter, it is possible to get a full-on scorpion, get over here pose with this. It's just the point of working with the joints and getting them to actually support the weight. You just basically have to have all the joints horizontal instead of vertical. And you can kind of get it to, you know, support the weight, as you can see right there. So it is doable. You just got to work with those joints. But if you don't want them holding the whip, you can just take the tip of the tail here, and this comes off. If I can, this is pretty tight. Give me 1 second. There we go. You just remove the tip of the tail, and this splits in half. And you can now give him 2 daggers with very cool transparent red blades, and these tips are quite pointy, so do be careful with that, because I think they could draw blood. But yeah, very cool. So you do get 2 daggers as well. So yeah, this guy has a lot of weaponry, so pretty cool. Now for comparison, here he is with Lio Prime. You see how he scales there with Lio Prime. Here he is with Big Convoy. There he is with Big Convoy. Definitely taller than Big Convoy. Here he is with Rhinox. See there how he scales with Rhinox. Here he is with Optimus Primal. Only a little bit taller than Optimus Primal. Here he is with Perfect Effects Warden, as you can see. Obviously a bit taller than Warden. So there you have that. And for the masterpiece people, here he is with MP10. So he's about up to MP10's shoulder. And here he is with Lambor. So there you have that for the masterpiece collectors. That's how it scales with Masterpiece. Now, one other thing that is included that I almost forgot, he does come with the Perfect Effect base right here. It does come with an arm that comes in pieces. You just take this piece and just slide that into that piece. And you have this little cradle here that just tabs in right there. And you have 4 different points that you can plug this onto. So you just take that, slide that on, and has these 2 little tabs right here that will just plug into these 2 little slots in his butts. Warning! Adult content, parental discretion advised. And there you go. You can have him standing on the base if you wish. I don't wish because bases take up way more space than I have, so I don't use the bases. But still nice that it is included. But there you go. So there you have Leonidas. He's a pretty cool figure. Like I said, the beast mode is definitely the weak point of this figure. The robot mode I absolutely love. I love the way this robot mode looks. It just looks wonderful to me. He comes with a ton of weaponry, which is awesome. There are some things that do bug me, like these little arm things that love to fall off that I'm just going to glue on. You know, the kind of, you know, loose elbows on mine, which does suck. I mean, they can hold the guns just fine. I mean, it's not ragdoll loose. You can kind of, sort of. I think they've actually loosened a little bit over time now, because before he used to be able to even hold his guns up, and now it's just kind of dropping. So, yeah, that definitely sucks. But again, that's a case of your mileage may vary. You might get ones with the elbows that are perfectly fine. I might just got one that, you know, I might just got one with bum elbows, but. You know, it is what it is with these toys. It's always a case of your mileage may vary. Yours might be perfect. Yours might not be. It's just how these things go. But, like I said, I love the robot mode. I think it looks amazing. And totally up to you if you think this is worth your hard-earned dollars. So if you would like a Leonidas or any of Perfect Effects' other offerings, you can check out BigBadToyStore.com for availability. There will be a link in the description down below, so do check it out. And you can also check out my third-party toys playlist, also linked in the description down below, so check that out if there are any reviews you may have missed. And I think that's pretty much it. So don't forget to check out EmGames, check out Lori Plan, follow me on Twitter, all that good stuff down in the description below. And I think that's pretty much all there is to say. So there is the Perfect Effect Leonidas, and this is EmGo saying, remember, you don't stop playing because you grow old. You grow old because you stop playing. Be geek, be proud. Palm in your face. Oh, just one thing I totally forgot to mention. 2 things, actually. When I was covering the articulation, I totally forgot to mention that these little side pieces here of that shoulder pad can move outward to accommodate the movements. And there is another feature of this toy where you can open up his chest plate here. You can open this up, and it does reveal some nice little painted details in there. And you flip this little panel down, and he actually has a matrix in there, which is pretty cool and nicely painted. So, there you go. Totally forgot to show that off. There you go. I'm really going to go now. Bye. Leonidas, this Decepticon has a message. Before you speak, Decepticon, know that in Iacon, everyone, even a leader's messenger, is held accountable for the words of his voice. Now, what message do you bring? Burritos and Pepsi. You flew all the way from Kaon for burritos and Pepsi. Let us walk. If you value your life over your complete annihilation, listen carefully, Leonidas. Megatronus conquers all that he rests his eyes upon. He leads an army so massive, it shakes the ground with its march. So vast, it drinks the Energon rivers dry. All Megatronus requires is this, a simple offering of burritos and Pepsi, a token of Iacon's submission to the will of Megatronus. Submission. Now that's a bit of a problem. Choose your next words carefully, Leonidas. They may be your last as leader. Madman! You're a madman! Burritos and Pepsi. You'll find plenty of both down there. That doesn't really make sense, but anyway, no man, Autobot or Decepticon, no man threatens a messenger! You threaten my people with slavery and death! Oh, I've chosen my words carefully, Decepticon. Perhaps you should have done the same. This is blasphemy! This is madness! Madness? This is Iacon! Why is there even a pit here? You know, on second thought, I might have overreacted a bit. Oh well, live and learn, I guess. What time is it? Oh, jeez, it's getting late. Come, my queen. This is